When you're looking at an inventory management plan, what is an inventory management plan? Why do I need an inventory management plan? Both of those are very valid questions. Most companies will not say, hey, I need you to develop a plan to how we're going to do this. I need you to develop that. They're not going to ask in most cases. Most cases, it is inventory managers or individuals that want to take a higher road to accomplish the goals of the company and develop such plan. Why is it needed? It's needed so that you develop a successful path, a journey, so to say, a journey for you and the workers within inventory can follow and be successful. Will that plan change? Absolutely, it will. But at least it gets you started so you can move forward. No one plans to fail, only fails to plan. That's oh so true. You're going to plan so that your destination can continue when you're not there. So a plan is very important. Inside the inventory management plan framework, we're going to have 5 different key components that we're going to take a look at to include in that plan. Technology versus automation. Well, you actually need both technology and automation, but there is a difference. Technology is going to tell you what type of computers you have on your desk or what software that your inventory is going to be supported by. Automation is going to take you from point A to point B without being managed. So on your technology side, you're going to say, well, I want to be able to take inventory with the scanner. I want to be able to take and follow my product throughout the warehouse with the scanner. Well, first of all, you've got to make that list out of what you want it to do, and then you got to start looking at the different inventory packages to see if those packages will help you. So make your wish list first, and then determine what equipment you will need to be successful. So what is automation and how is it different? Well, automation is about taking you from point A to point B without any human interaction. Let's take an example. Let's say that you have a manufacturing company and it's producing widgets. Of those widgets, there's items 1, 2, and 3 of your raw materials, and they're all supplied by this one vendor, one supplier. There are other items or other raw materials in your finished good widget, but item 1, 2, and 3 are all part of raw materials that makes the widget A that is supplied by supplier B, as an example. Well, as you go through the day, your system is pulling raw materials out to make that finished product. Well, if your computer talked with your supplier's computer, when that inventory level hit a certain level, say the reordering point, then it would automatically transmit in a holding stage that it needs more raw materials. Now, we'll talk about this in reordering strategies. So it's hit this reorder point. So now it sends that information directly. It's created a purchase order and sent it directly to the supplier. That is automation. And it's also could be included in vendor managed inventory. But that is what we're talking about when we talk about automation. The system is reactive to a certain function at a certain level. Now let's talk about inventory forecasting strategies. You need to find a strategy for inventory forecasting so you can define what's going to happen in the near future, what's going to be happening within a year, with your inventory. If you're a manufacturing company, you're really looking at the raw materials. Your distributors may be ordering your finished product, so you're producing it. What do I need to produce next week? Now, I'm not talking about a push inventory system. I'm talking about a pool. That means the distributors are giving you the order. Your production is to their orders. So you're not taking merchandise and say, here, you got to take this. The customer's defining what they want and what they need. You need to be able to forecast your needs over a month, over 3 months, over 6 months, whatever it may be. And that's going to be dependent upon your raw materials. Let's say that you have a raw material that is a commodity. You're going to have to contract that 1 month, maybe 3 months at a time to lock in a good price. So what strategy are you going to use to compute inventory requirements over the next 90 days? One of the ways that I found, as a simplest way that I have found, is basically taking the trailing 3 months, divided by the last year's trailing 3 months, and you come up with a factor. That factor multiplied by last year's current month usage equals what you're expected to use this year. From there, you minus the physical inventory of that raw material, and boom, that's what needs to be ordered. Now, there's a lot of different ways to look at it, and no one is ever perfectly right all the time. You could say the last 3 months, that's what I used. I expect to have a 10% increase. So you take that last 3 months, multiply it by 1.1, and you receive what you need in the next quarter. It may be that you divide that by 3, and that's what you're going to use next month. Your trailing 3 months is always rolling. You punch in your actual usage for the prior month, and now you have a new figure that you can go after. So those are a couple of ideas, but you're going to have to find what works within your industry. And your raw materials may be Group A, Group B, Group C, and Group A's formula is going to be different from Group B. Group B items may be different than Group C. So it may be different formulas, but you have to find that right mix for that particular group of products, of raw materials. Reordering strategies. Okay, what do you mean? I thought we were talking about inventory forecasting. What do you mean by reordering strategies? Well, first thing that you need to know, are you going to be a tactical or strategic purchaser? What's the difference? On a tactical purchaser, you're all about the price all the time. You don't care. I need the lowest price to be able to provide product in the market at this price. So I always need lowest price. If your raw material costs 1.5 cents per pound and I can get it for 1.25 cents per pound, I'm gonna move. I don't care. I understand everyone has to have some sort of sensitivity to price. However, under the strategic, you're always working with your vendors to make sure that the orders can be filled, to make sure that the product is quality A+. It's more of a working relationship. With a strategic partnership with your supplier, one day you will be able to get to that point to bring down the inventory and send your inventory up there automatically so they know when something needs to be reordered. There's nothing wrong with being tactical and wanting the price all the time. But that's going to put you at the lowest price. What do you think is going to happen to your quality over time if you're always wanting the lowest price? It's not going to be really good for you to do that. It's not. Now, the last two items are absolutely two of the items I encourage everyone to get involved with, simply because there is so many more benefits to these last two items than what will hurt you in your business. So, game changer number one, cycle counting. Let me tell you, cycle counting can be the game changer for you. Yes, it will take more time than you're in inventory. When your inventory seems to be out of whack and you can't figure out what's going on with it, cycle counting is going to get you back aligned. Cycle counting is going to provide you better customer service. How's that? It's inventory. Exactly right. When your CSR is taking an order and they said, well, the warehouse says we have 10 left, I don't know if that's going to be true or not. It may be a little bit more, a little bit less. Oh, well, is there any way for you to find out? Oh man, that's going to take hours, but I'll send it out there. No, with cycle counting, you're going to know, yes, the computer says 10, I have 10 in that warehouse. It's going to be a game changer. You're going to be able, your company is going to be able to communicate better with its customers, knowing what they have and what they don't have. Cycle counting is going to also help you with overstocks. Overstocks can become stale if you're working with perishable products. Overstocks can end up coming out of the bin and being placed somewhere else. So now the merchandise could be misplaced and no one knows where it is. Overstocks is not a good situation because now you've spent more money on your products than you actually need to. Cycle counting is going to help you with your out of stocks, your stock outs. It's so disappointing for a customer to call and say, I need 2 cases of this. Well, okay, I put it in and the order goes through the system thinking it has 5 cases available. And they go out to the warehouse and find out there's no cases. Now we just lost a sale. Let me ask you, how many times do you think your customer will allow you to misship him due to stock out? Sounds like that customer is going to go somewhere else. He's got to have the product for him to be able to make money. So be very careful with stock outs and overstocks. Game changer number 2, policies and procedures. I cannot tell you over the years that I've been working in business, when policies and procedures are not in place, things can go just wildly wrong. No one knows what to do. That person's no longer with us, or that person was in a car accident and we need to fill that position. What do? Well, I think we do this. Well, what do you mean you think you do this? Where's the procedure to do that? Policies and procedures need to be throughout the company. But you need to make sure your policies and procedures are intact before anyone else. Inventory is the most touched item within your business. You're going to receive it, you're going to put it away, you're going to put it on the dock for packing, and you're going to ship it. No other department has that much responsibility. So making sure that we have policies and procedures all the way down the line is very important. Now, just like, I said this probably 20 years ago, and it's even easier today than it was 20 years ago. We need to film it. You need to show what you're doing the proper way. Okay, so you're being filmed on how to palletize a pallet. You know, it's 3 boxes this way, it's 2 boxes this way, and it's 5 high. So that's a 5 by 5 tie. Okay, so you can go through that process of teaching them, okay, we put these 3 boxes this way and these 2 boxes here. So on the next level, we're looking at these 3 boxes here and these 2 boxes over here. So you can balance out the weight so it won't lean to one direction. You're talking during the video. They're taking it. So now you've defined a procedure. You don't have to write it down. You take it and you say, Mr. Video Editor, whoever, it may be you or it may be somebody in the company that edits the video, and then you have a procedure. It's done. You don't have to write it all out. The good thing about policies and procedures on video, your new warehouse clerk is coming in to work with you. So they go through all the paperwork and you say, well, today you're going to be picking orders. And I'm going to give you a couple of orders and you're going to pick them. Okay? I want you to watch this 30-minute video of what needs to be done to pick orders. Or it may be a 10-minute video. I don't know. But I want you to watch this video. And then we're going to sit down and we're going to talk about it. I've got this workbook for you. It has some diagrams in it. And you're going to be able to take notes. And that's another thing. Make sure these people are taking notes of what needs to be done so they can refer back to them. If someone sits down with you and you say, here's your notebook and pen, you need to be taking notes. If they don't take a note, you found the wrong person. They're out. You don't need that person. Because I promise you, here's what's going to happen. They're going to be coming to you every 15 minutes. What do I do now? What do I do now? How do I do this? Well, didn't you take notes? No, I didn't take notes because they didn't feel like it was important enough. So a note taker is going to be interested in their job to be successful. If they're not taking notes, they're going to be a burden to you. Just remember that. I'm not saying fire them, but remember that statement, what I just said. So right here in closing, an inventory management plan is going to give you the direction to move forward with your programs. I believe that your inventory management plan should include technology and automation, inventory forecasting strategies, reordering strategies, and make sure that you include cycle counting and policies and procedures into your inventory management plan. Those last 2 will be big game changers for you and your company. I promise you that. If done properly, they will become big game changers. Now, your inventory management plan may look different. It may have more items in there, more topics, it may have less. It may have different topics. But being successful is going to be cycle counting and policies and procedures. Hey, look, I appreciate you staying to the end. If you found quality in this, found something useful, please hit the like button. Go down to the comments and tell me what you plan on using in your inventory management plan. And always, it'd be a pleasure if you would subscribe to the channel. I want you to have a great day and be safe.